Hello everyone, this is Brent Deisher from Princeton Permaculture, and I'm sharing with you a technique called Hugelkulture. And recently, about 4 months ago, I started a garden, and I moved not too long ago. So I did what in permaculture is called observe and interact. You really, when you go to a new place, you should really observe the patterns and look at the surrounding ecosystem that you're going to establish your permaculture garden at. So that permaculture is really about integrating the man-made or human-made ecosystem into the existing ecosystem. So it's really modeling what the forest actually does naturally. So that's really what is taking place over there. You want as much as possible to mimic the what the natural environment is doing. Okay, so to really specify what I'm talking about is what I did here is a sheet mulching technique. Step one is, as I'm establishing a larger area for my permaculture garden, a 10-foot by 16-foot larger area that I am creating right now. I first mowed down the grass as low as possible and then put a lot of cardboard down. As you can still see, a lot of the cardboard. About a couple weeks ago I did that. And now I'm getting leaf compost, and now I am establishing the hugelkulture bed for what is will in my next video be a square foot garden. Okay, but this is a hugelkulture technique, which really means mound gardening, and is really taking logs which I had from a neighbor, and I used them to put on top of the cardboard, and the logs serve functions. So in permaculture, it's all about functions. Okay, every element in the permaculture system should have multiple functions, and every function should have multiple elements. So this element, the hugelkulture bed, mound bed, is serving the function of the logs absorbing water and releasing nutrients at the same time. Because in a raised bed garden, the higher it is, I know they look nice, but the higher it is, the quicker it loses water. Okay, you have a 6-inch raised bed, you have a 12-inch raised bed. Well, the higher it is, the quicker it loses water. Okay, so in times like this summer, it's been pretty dry and hot. So you need a lot of work to water that garden. With those raised beds, I know they look nice. It looks neat and orderly. Raised beds look nice, neat, and orderly, but they require a lot of maintenance. So this is a natural raised bed. So this is hugelkulture, and these logs from the white ash. Okay, everywhere around in New Jersey. I'm in central New Jersey. Everywhere around, the white ash is dying. It's going extinct. Caused the emerald ash borer. Well, the problem is the solution. And one system's outputs are another system's inputs. So that white ash, this is white ash wood with a lot of lichen on it, gets used in my hugelkulture bed. There's no waste in the system. Okay? So this lichen and moss will gradually decompose over time, and the logs, of course, will gradually decompose over time, and nutrients will be released, and water will be absorbed and also released over time. So it requires less maintenance. So permaculture is really about less work. Gardening is really a lot of work. So permaculture is trying to use the system, the energy in the system, as efficient as possible, and as Bill Mollison says, increase your hammock time. Okay, because gardening and weeding and the maintenance, the upkeep, the management of a garden really requires a lot of work. Okay, time. It does take time. So I'm trying to establish a permaculture garden, which, using a technique like hugelkulture, like this, I don't have to water as much in theory. Okay, so I do have one established over there, which I talked about earlier, I think in a previous video, another hugelkulture, but I didn't have the logs available like I do now. Okay, So this is a better technique. I'm doing the technique better, the more by the book with logs. I just use sticks that I had over there in that Hugelkulture. But this is a better one. You should have logs if you can possibly get them. All right, so this is Brent Eischer from Princeton Permaculture. Lose the lawn, wait for it, get your permaculture garden on.